I think today was more about Celtic's deficiencies than Rangers' progress. I think Celtic were so lacking in the final third. Listen, by the way, having travelled 8,000 miles in the last 10 days, and not seen a goal, through that, dragged back into the Kyra or Matty zone today. Watching Celtic, I mean, by the way, nearly 600 passes in the game a day, barely any of them going forward. I think it was more about Celtic's deficiencies in the final third. I think Celtic, their two fullbacks, listen, Rodgers took offence to the suggestions that he played for a draw. I think they were very cautious. Kieran Tierney didn't cross the halfway line. Tony Ralston wasn't really, that's his job anyway. It was a containment job until the last half an hour when they realised actually this year's defence is actually quite shaky. And as soon as Celtic applied any bit of pressure, Rangers were jittery as hell at the back. I mean, it was panic stage a bit. I still think that Rangers had put more of a threat, set pieces and all that stuff. But I think today it was more about Celtic being a little bit too much respect to Rangers at their own patch.
Were you surprised, Mick, that Brendan Rodgers didn't make changes sooner? I was looking at that first half performance. I thought he's guaranteed to try and sharpen up a little bit in the final third for the second half. I was surprised that he took so long to put James Forrest on.
I was a wee bit, and then when Forrest came on, and also I thought, Sinya, I added something. I mean, I don't think he's any great shakes, but he added a bit of kind of energy, a bit of kind of movement that was lacking in the kind of first hour or so. I was a wee bit surprised. I mean, obviously you had Balak Wisher coming out for a debut. I don't think it was great, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't. No. But I think if he'd done his homework, I mean, he's up against a 33-year-old fullback, and 3 times he cut back inside when he had 30 yards of space behind him, and you're thinking, go on, knock the ball by him and see if he can test him in behind. Didn't do it. We need to find out if that's his game or it just was because he didn't really have the feel for it today. I mean, obviously got a break. It's his debut 24 hours after arriving at the club. Another sign that should have been done 5 months ago. I mean, ridiculous. So Celtic, I think, in all this confusion, it's like I've got a striker who costs £8 million, £9 million, who's currently sitting at Southwaite Services waiting to find out where he's going for the next. I mean, it's all a bit of a kind of shambles around this for Celtic, really.
But here's the thing:
boys get through this and get a point, and we'll deal with what's happening the next day or so.
Here's the thing, Mike, with Adam Eder, right? And I've kind of said my piece on him countless times. I just don't think that he's really applied himself in the manner in which he had to do in order to make himself a successful Celtic striker. I think Celtic have decided to cut their losses. I think it will be a loss, although let's wait and see. But if you're going to sell or let a £9 million striker go, I think you have to be prepared to really throw the kitchen sink at finding a replacement. What are you expecting to happen in the next 24 hours in this transfer window?
What I'm expecting is the usual blind panic, and eventually 4 new players will arrive at Celtic, and it'll cost them way over the odds, which it cost them 3 months ago. The same as always happens at Celtic. This is what happens on an annual basis. It's what Rodgers mentioned it the other day. Ange, Postecoglou mentioned the same thing. Lenny mentioned the same thing. It's the last minute scramble to see who's available from fairly big clubs around Europe and England. The guys who are on the fringes of these teams that have been told they can go elsewhere, Celtic try and pick them up. They might cost them 7, 8 million, 10. They might now cost them 10, 11 million because the prices have gone up now. But they'll get 2 or 3 in the door, maybe one on loan as well. But it'll be all dashing around crazy. They'll probably have to try to get somebody else in and they'll fail at the last minute. They'll get 2 or 3 in and a fourth won't manage it. They will strengthen up, but it'll cost them more than it would have cost them months ago. So and I know players don't become available till late in the window, right? But you can't wait for those players. You have to go and get players that are available and they can get at a certain price. It was £5 million 3 months ago.
Listen, the whole thing has been horribly mismanaged, but and I completely accept all that, Mick. And probably because of that, they may have to shatter their own record fee, I think, in the next 24 hours. Is that what you're expecting? There will be a player coming in for, higher than £11 million?
I wouldn't be surprised. Especially now you're looking at strikers. Strikers cost more money. And everyone knows Celtic need a striker.
Why would you do that for a Europa League campaign and you wouldn't do it for the Champions League?
Because it's not because they need a striker in place that could play in the next campaign. This is the problem that I've got. They should be buying players for playoffs. This playoff last year, they need a striker in January to be in the ground running to play in this playoff. It didn't replace Kyogo in January. It's nearly September and they're in the last day of the window. It's actually mind-blowing how badly it's been managed. The guy should have been in place in January to get him up to speed. So when they come in the playoff time, they've got a guy. They've got the guy to hang their hat on. Not chasing the guy that they can hang their hat on. So
completely agree, Mike.
If it's £12 million now, that's fine because in 12 months' time he's probably going to be a better player. So they need to go and cough up, and maybe a short-term hit for a long-term gain.
But the question still is, you're doing it the last week of the window. You're going into Europa League campaign. Why did they not do this
That's
weeks ago?
that's the question I've been asking. I mean, unfortunately, Celtic don't speak to anyone apart from the manager, and they won't go on the record to anyone in a position of power. So you ask the manager, and that's a very question we asked him last week in Almaty. Why has it come to this?